Have you ever? Okay. Get ready for the show. And we're coming into town. And we're going to make it sound like clown. Make it rain, don't clown. Let's clown, make it rain. Come on, let's Dewey and Cheatham. Dewey and Cheatham. It's Dewey and Cheatham and how? It's Dewey and Cheatham. It's Dewey and Cheatham. It's Dewey and Cheatham and how? It's Dewey and Cheatham. It's Dewey and Cheatham. It's Dewey and Cheatham and how? Boom, 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 boom. Let's roll Dewey, Cheatham, and how?
Have you ever been to a beautician and she say she can make your hair dark and lovely, and when you look at her, look like she got a bad case of alopecia? Call Dewey, Cheatham, and how?
Call Dewey and Cheatham. Dewey and Cheatham.
And you walk out of there looking like you got the mange.
Call Dewey and Cheatham.
Cheatham.
Call Dewey and Cheatham. And how? Have you ever went to the circus and when you went to the circus, it wasn't no animals in there, and all you smelled was funk, and you thought it was you, and you turned around and it wasn't you, it was your friend? Call Dewey and Cheatham. Dewey and Cheatham and how?
Have you ever started a fire in your backyard, burning the leaves and trash in your yard, and it smoked up in your house so bad until you want to call the police on yourself? Call Dewey, Cheatham, and how?
Call Dewey and Cheatham. Dewey and Cheatham and how? Call Dewey and Cheatham. Dewey and Cheatham and how? Mrs. Howe, have you ever rolled in somebody's car? Come on, Dewey. Come on, Howie. Rolled in somebody's car. And you was sitting in the car. And you say, and you didn't know what that smell was. And then you turned around and thought somebody had passed gas. And you looked over there to your left and seen your dog mouth wide open. Call Dewey and Cheatham. Dewey and Cheatham and how? Call Dewey.
Have you ever smoked your last spiff, and when you wake up in the middle of the night and you smell ribs cooking, but you stay next door to a crematorium, and you go over there and want to place you an order? Call Dewey, Cheatham, and how?
Call Dewey and Cheatham. Dewey and Cheatham and how? Call Dewey and Cheatham. Dewey and Cheatham and how? Mrs. Howe, have you ever, now get this, have you ever went to a salon and you was the cosmetologist and you had a customer roll up, roll out, and she rolled up in there, thought she was the bomb, and when she came in there and she asked for some service, and everybody looked at her head and said they didn't have no opening, but you was the only one. But you was the only one standing up there looking all alone and had nobody in your chair. You had to take this customer. They sucked it to you. Now she sat down in your chair. When she sat down, y'all, her hair started smoking up in flames like power, like dust, like smoke. And when she sat down, that funk hit you in your nose. You couldn't refuse to serve it because you needed that money. So you could not refuse that service. You wanted to, but you couldn't. She was paying $150 because her head looked like crap. She sat down there in your chair and you went to examine her scalp. Like a doctor examine you when you go see the doctor at a doctor's appointment. You went to examine her scalp. You looked in there and seen a big old water bug came up out that head. You wanted to take some clippers and just shave everything that she had on her head because her head was infested. It had roaches. It had baby roaches. It had baby eggs. It had Baby Motel. Call Dewey and Cheatham. Dewey and Cheatham and how?
Have you ever been to the thrift store and you seen that old filthy, funky couch that you put out on the side of the road a month ago, and they got it in there for $250, a funk box? Call Dewey Cheatham and how.
Call Dewey and
like
Cheatham.
They owe you.
Dewey and Cheatham and how? Call Dewey and Cheatham. Dewey and Cheatham and how? Mrs. Howe, have you ever got in the car with your friend and she pulled up to your house, and I'm talking about pulled up to your house, talking about she coming to pick you up and take you to the club in a station wagon, and that station wagon, you heard that station wagon rocking like a rocking chair with squeaks like it needed a WD-40 oil to loosen it up, all the way down there by the Civic Center downtown, and heard it coming all the way to your house, rocking. And your mama had opened the door and screamed, and you didn't like the fact that you had to get in that car, and it was a humiliation to you and your mental. Call Dewey and Cheatham. Dewey and Cheatham and how? Call Dewey and Cheatham. Dewey and Cheatham and how?
Have you ever walked into your walls at your own house and you wondering where that come from? And they say you wasn't qualified to get a cuckoo for Coco's check?
Cuckoo.
Call
cuckoo,
Dewey Cheatham and
cuckoo,
how.
cuckoo, cuckoo for Coco. Call Dewey and Cheatham. Dewey and Cheatham and how? Mrs. Howe. Oh, have you ever walked around your house and you were looking for your child, and you had other family members helping you look for your child, and guess where your child was when you walked by that mirror? In your house, on your hip. Dewey and Cheatham. Dewey and Cheatham and how? Call Dewey and Cheatham. Dewey and Cheatham and how?
Have you ever ran from the police and you just got tired of running? You said, I just give up. And when you stopped running, they passed by you and you realized they wasn't chasing you in the first place? Call Dewey Cheatham and how.
Call Dewey and Cheatham. Dewey and Cheatham and how? Call Dewey and Cheatham. Dewey and Cheatham and how? Mrs. Howe, have you ever, and I mean have you ever got with a nigga now, and you ain't know he was on some drugs, and he walking around there walking 100,000 miles in your house, pacing back and forth in your house, and you looking at him like, what's wrong? Where you going? Why you walking back and forth in my house? You about to go get a pills and shoot this nigga, he walking so much. Call Dewey and Cheatham. Dewey and Cheatham and how? Call Dewey and Cheatham. Dewey and Cheatham and how? Mr. Howe. Come on, Dewey.
You got it, baby. You got it. Okay.
Come on, you got it.
All
right, Mrs. Howe in the house. So, have you ever listened to a song and you swore this dude can sing, and he sound a hot mess? Now, he sound good when he sang with the instrument, but you get that joker off that instrument and you get that joker to sing in live concert, and he has bust your ear because of the way he sound. You want to do what? Call Dewey and Cheatham. Dewey and Cheatham and how? Call Dewey and Cheatham. Dewey and Cheatham and how?
Now,
Mr. Dewey.
I like how you do that right there. Now, I think that's going to be perfect, how you say Mrs. Howe, and I think that's going to be great right there, baby. That's going to be good.
So we got Dewey. And Dewey, what do you think about people that's falling in stores and they trying to get cash because they all in the store? And it's going to be a lot of people finna hate us right now. But it's only a joke, y'all. It's only
I think it's shame on you for falling in them stores like that. Shame on you for falling in them stores and trying to get a dollar bill from out of them hard-working people that own them stores. Shame on you for not calling Dewey, Cheatham, and Howe and let us help
Call
you
Dewey
get that
and
money for
Cheatham.
you.
Dewey and Cheatham and Howe.
You ever
Call
slipped
Dewey
and
and
fell in the
Cheatham.
stove
Dewey and Cheatham
and they said
Howe.
they wasn't paying you nothing because they believe you brought the water in there yourself because your pocket was wet. And you know for a fact you brought the water in there, but they can't prove it. Call Dewey, Cheatham, and Howe.
Call Dewey and Cheatham. Dewey and Cheatham and Howe. Call Dewey and Cheatham. Dewey and Cheatham and Howe. Mrs. Howe, have you ever went somewhere and you had on this exercising outfit and you went walking in the neighborhood and you walking down the street now you know you ain't got nothing up under it and you end up buying this you know that little outfit that look like a garbage bag outfit. I don't know the name of them little sweatsuit, but yeah, and you walking down the street and it had the nerve to rip and tear all the way from the tooter from your ankle all the way up to your tooter to the fruity, and you had old men standing outside in the group. They was over there drinking and smoking alcohol. You know, they were doing their thing. And they happened to look over there and pointed at you and say, "Hey, baby." And you tried to run that street. You tried to, like you was in a leopard trying to get out that neighborhood. Call Dewey and Cheatham. Dewey and Cheatham and Howe.
Have you ever went into the shoe store and you seen some look like fresh pair of Nike Air Jordan, but they had Mike in there sitting down on the shoes? You know them ain't Air Jordan. Call Dewey, Cheatham, and Howe. You can get your refund back.
Dewey and Cheatham.
If your shoes say bike on them and not Mike, call us.
Dewey and Cheatham. Dewey and Cheatham and Howe. Mrs. Howe, have you ever, and I mean have you ever went walking down a dark road and you happened to step into a hole, pothole that is, and you fell in there and your friends was looking for you and couldn't find you, and you down there in the hole smelling like what the, and they had to come and help you, but they didn't help you because you were so funky. They wanted to help you, but they couldn't help you. So what you do in a situation like that has caused you to be in pain and misery and depression because your friends would not help you because you fell in a septic tank pothole? It is messing with your mental illness. You gonna do what? Call Dewey and Cheatham. Dewey and Cheatham and Howe. Call Dewey and Cheatham. Dewey and Cheatham and Howe. Mrs. Howe, have you ever came out your house and you were trying to bring a bike, a 10-speed, and I'm talking about, I don't think it was a 10-speed, I think it was a 100-speed because it was so big, that bike, to me it was, excuse me, because I think I was just young and the bike happened to be so big and it seemed like it was just so huge over me because I was so young and petite and I was so fragile. So I had this 100 speed that I was bringing out the house. And boy, y'all, let me tell you, I brought that bike out that house, out of mobile home. And I fell down the stairs, flipped, and did a cold cartwheel with this 100 speed that I brought out the house. And when I flipped and did a whole cartwheel, when I flipped and did a whole cartwheel in the yard, y'all, I did a full zero turn flip. And let me tell you, when I went up in the air and came back down, I broke my ankle. I ain't gonna say I broke it. It was sprung. At least the hospital did say it was sprung. But y'all, it felt like it was broke. So I ended up staying on the ground because I couldn't get up. My ankle had swelled like the elephant man head neck. It was huge because I fell. And the neighbor across the street seen me when I fell out the house, y'all, and was laughing and pointing. I told that fool that was not funny, y'all. I was on that ground. And I said, Lord, please don't let no animal come and bite me right now, because he going to kill me. He going to attack me. So, yeah, I had to call somebody on the ground while I was on. Thank God I had a cell phone or something on the ground. No, I don't even think we had a cell phone. I think I yelled my neighbor, and I said, neighbor, 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 I fell. So he heard me, came out the door. I said, John, I fell. So he came out. He said, man, you all right? I said, no, please, you're going to call somebody. I said, please, call this number right now. Let me see if I can think of it. Such and such, 888-2221-557787. Now, y'all know them numbers too long, so don't even think about calling them. But anyway, he ended up calling my people. So my people came, took me to the hospital, because I fell. Now, I didn't think to call 1-888. Call Dewey and Cheatham. Call Dewey and Cheatham and how? Yeah, and I should have called 1-888 Dewey Cheatham and how at the time, but I didn't, because in that time I fell and didn't think about calling nobody. I should have sued the mobile home people that owned that land and the mobile home. Because they was raggedy, the land was raggedy, and the mobile home was raggedy. And we're going to do what? For now on, call Dewey and Cheatham. Dewey and Cheatham and how? Dewey. Come on, Mr. Dewey.
Have you ever had somebody to call you and tell you, hey, could you call 911 for me because I can't get out on my phone? I have. Call 1-888.
Call Dewey and Cheatham.
Dewey and
Cheatham and how? Have you ever had this person to tell you, what does this say on the application? D.O.B. Come on, Dewey. Finish it off.
That's spelled Dob, right? Well, if they think it's spelled Dob, you need to get your check started immediately.
Call Dewey and Cheatham. Dewey and Cheatham and how? Because they thought it was spelled Dobbs. Call Dewey and Cheatham. Dewey and Cheatham and how? Y'all figure that out for yourself. I'm going to leave that to y'all to figure that out. And y'all get back to Dewey and Cheatham and how. Y'all let us know what that little Dewey and Cheatham song, that little phrase that I just did. I want y'all to figure that out. Because if y'all can't figure that out, y'all make sure y'all call 1-800 Dewey and Cheatham and how. We're going to help y'all get a check.
You ever been snowed in with nothing but a can of sardines and a bottle of Jack Daniels? I have.
Call Dewey and Cheatham. Dewey and Cheatham. Hey, y'all, listen to this. Now, this is going to be really, really, really funny. Okay. I'm going to really focus this on me right now. I'm Mrs. Howell Cheatham. I went to drinking this alcohol called Jack Daniels. Ooh, woo! Boy, did I drink him up. Listen, he was so delicious. He tasted like tea. I never knew whiskey can get you drunk like that. My first time ever drinking it, y'all. I drunk a gallon. Trust me, I couldn't believe it either, but I did. And boy, did I feel that later on. Listen, it took 10 hours for that alcohol to kick in. I couldn't believe it. I said, what? And when it hit me, I said, woo, gosh, it hit me. And it really didn't hit me, y'all, until the police came. And boy, did the police came. It was many of them. And when I tell you, that lady said, woo, what you got on your breath? And I told her, Jack Daniel. When I told her that, me and my husband, we was having, we was arguing and all that stuff at the time. And it was alcohol. I can't say it was alcohol. Because that alcohol made me strip out of all my clothes.
Everything.
I'm talking about I was in birthday suit. Boo, birthday suit. Boo.
Should have called Dewey, Cheatham, and Howe.
At that time, I should have called Dewey, Cheatham, and Howe. Call Dewey and Cheatham. Dewey and Cheatham now.
Listen, that little shimmy is good. I like the shimmy. Yeah. And now, only you could do that. See, that's your trademark. That's your trademark.
So, y'all, again, we're going to go ahead on and end this because I think we've been on here like, our show was like, baby, 20 minutes? Are you serious? We can't have a 20-minute show. We got to do
Well, we just had a 30 minutes.
We got to continue to, we got to practice this and really, really.
Get it down to what, about 10 minutes?
Huh?
But about
No,
10
we need 20-minute shows.
How long that is?
That's 20 minutes, but it seems like we've been here forever.
Yeah, 20 minute show. You stopped it.
No, I'm finna stop it now, but listen.